Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Today on the show, we'll feature an Oscar-nominated film on the struggle of women in Iran. We'll tell you how South Africa's solar-powered cinema inspires African youth. And FESPACO, the Pan-African Film and TV Festival in Ouagadougou, continues in Burkina Faso. Let's get on with the show. And let's start the show with some highlights of the latest entertainment news from around the world. In music news, Grammy-winning Nigerian singer-songwriter Temilade Openiyi, known as Tems, has signed with CAA Worldwide. She's the first Nigerian artist to be nominated for an Academy Award for her work on Rihanna's song Lift Me Up from Marvel's Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack. She won her first Grammy for her feature on Future and Drake's hit Wait For You. VOA's Tolumide, a voting member of the Recording Academy of the United States, speaks on Tems' successes.
What really put her on a global scale was her song with Wizkid, Essence, and then of course with Drake, and then with Future, which she essentially got the award, the Grammy Award for. Having those collaborations certainly put her on a global scale and gave her more visibility to her amazing talent. And so I believe with what she's done, getting this recognition has definitely opened up the world to a larger scale of African artists and certainly female artists, Nigerian artists that are doing amazing things.
And in other news, South African comedian Trevor Noah is set to release a book. That's according to The Hollywood Reporter. Noah's yet-to-be-titled book is due out later this fall and is said to be evocative of allegories and fables like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and The Little Prince. The comedian's previous book, Born a Crime: Stories from a South African Childhood, became a #1 international bestseller when it was published in 2016. The 2023 edition of the Pan-African Film and Television Festival of Ouagadougou, or FESPACO, has ended in Burkina Faso. Between shopping malls, tasting meals, and of course, film screenings in theaters, festival goers visited interesting areas from one district to another. There's also a lot of training for rising filmmakers. Our correspondents in Ouagadougou, Thierry Kware and Yakuba Wadriogo, have the story narrated by Salem Solomon.
It's graduation day for students at the Higher Institute of Image and Sound, or ISIS. 14 students received their diplomas in different film courses. Among them is Chadean Terbole Nekwanoji Eve Noeli. She's specializing in photography, among other things, and says she is prepared to make her mark in a field dominated by men.
I have the technique. I took the video shots. I know that being a woman makes it even more difficult because, still today, this job is considered to be a man's job.
In addition to such challenges, Noeli will have to face another reality, finding a job in a field where film production is increasingly declining. Salam Zampaligre, a director who's part of the film school, knew the road would be difficult when he graduated in 2011.
La production elle est très lente en Afrique et particulièrement au Burkina Faso.
Production is very slow in Africa and particularly in Burkina Faso. It was, therefore, difficult to work on projects with older directors and get experience. I, in particular, had the chance after 3 years to have worked for a studio called Same Film on a feature film. I was lucky enough to be the director of this feature film, The Republic of the Corrupt. After that, it allowed me to become part of the industry.
Zampaligre continues to direct many short and feature films as well as documentaries. He is currently in the running for a feature-length documentary prize with his film Le Taxi, Le Cinéma et Moi, or The Taxi, The Cinema and Me, released in 2022 and awarded in mid-February in Luxor, Egypt. To provide its share of support to film students, FESPACO has created a competition for them under the category Films from Film Schools.
Le FESPACO est un cadre
FESPACO is a platform for professionals to show what they've done. So if the younger ones can also show what they are learning to do to the elders and the general population, it is a way of preparing them for the competition.
This competition between films from film schools not only tests the skills of students, but also tests the tools used for teaching in these schools, which are filmmaker training incubators. In this regard, the ISIS often lacks adequate equipment.
We have all the equipment, the 16 to 37 cameras of the good old days. Today we use this material to show them how cinema began and how it developed.
Despite these difficulties, ISIS has trained hundreds of filmmakers since its creation in 2006. The school has attracted many foreign students, and all are competitive on the job market, says Alfred Bambi Kabore, the school general manager.
If you watched 2 or 3 years ago, even a little longer, a lot of films that won the Gold Stallion, both in fiction and in documentary and in short and in features, all had our students working on them.
This year, in the film schools category, 22 films are in competition, including 3 for the Higher Institute of Image and Sound. For Terry Kaure and Yakuba Wadiago in Ouagadougou, Salim Solomon, VOA News.
All eyes will be on Hollywood on Sunday when the Academy Awards or Oscars will honor the best in filmmaking. From Los Angeles, VOA's Michael Sullivan has a preview. Let's check it out.
They have rolled out the red carpet as actors, directors, and others get ready to compete for the Oscars. It's the highlight of the year for the movie industry and for leading nominees, including actor Michelle Yeoh. And the frenzied fantasy, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 3 other cast members are also up for acting awards for the film that received major honors at this year's Screen Actors Guild Awards. Cate Blanchett is also a front-runner for Best Leading Actress for her role as a classical conductor in the drama Tar. Both films are among the 10 Oscar nominees for Best Picture. So was Elvis, a retelling of the story of pop icon Elvis Presley, with star Austin Butler competing for Best Actor. The Banshees of Inisherin, about tensions in a friendship in an Irish village, earned nominations for lead actor Colin Farrell and supporting actors Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan, as well as supporting actress Kerry Condon. Condon's competitors include Angela Bassett for her supporting role in the Marvel action film Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Some real-life dramas are on display in documentary nominees, including Navalny, a film about the plot to kill Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Despite some serious themes, the Oscars are intended as a time of celebration, when fans cheer their favorite movies and the people who make them. Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News, Los Angeles.
A South African group is bringing films to African youth in impoverished areas with poor services through solar-powered portable cinemas. The group Sunshine Cinema is in 4 countries but aims to inspire more youth on the continent through African films. Sahar Kasim reports from Ponkop in South Africa. Let's take a look.
Like most villages in South Africa, Ponkop has little access to power or the internet. Watching a film is a rare treat from aid group Sunshine Cinema, which brings a solar-powered movie projector and speaker to poor remote areas. The group also provides jobs to operators like Larata Atlawa, who says the African films they select are not about entertaining, but inspiring.
After viewing a movie, you realize, the way I might have been doing things might have been a little bit offish or might have been wrong. And then it changes your perspective drastically to say, I can actually be a better person in my community. I can actually go out there and be the change in my community.
South Africa's government says nearly 2/3 of youth under 24 are jobless, raising the temptation of crime, especially among young men. A Boys mentorship program hosted today's film, Riding with Sugar, a South African film that tackles the issue of xenophobia.
Events like this are important because they help us to know which part of the future we want to be a part of. A future whereby we can eliminate all racism, all xenophobic attacks on foreigners, and we just want to be a better version of humanity.
Sunshine Cinema, which runs on donations, started a decade ago in South Africa, but has since spread to neighboring Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi. They're ready to expand further across Africa, says co-founder Sadal Wallow-Smith.
We would love to expand into other African countries. We believe that we have a model that can really work because we are addressing youth unemployment at the same time as working in distribution. The young people that go through our program receive rigorous training in impact facilitation. So they're coming out of this program with a lot of soft skills as well as a lot of skills that can be transferred into the workplace.
Sunshine Cinema says their goal is to spark conversations about issues that affect Africans. They also offer an online course for anyone in a developing country with scholarships for those who cannot afford it on how to use media for impact. For remote communities like Pankop, the impact of the solar-powered cinema is to bring hope for a better world. Zahir Kasim for VOA News, Pankop, South Africa.
A short film from Iranian-born filmmaker Cyrus Neshvad, titled The Red Suitcase, will compete for an Oscar at the Academy Awards on March the 12th. Michael Sullivan spoke with the director and youngster about the issues of women's self-determination that the film highlights.
What is in your luggage?
A 16-year-old arrives in the Luxembourg airport, coming from Iran, to marry a man she has never met, as she clings to all she owns in a red suitcase. In a fateful move, she removes her hijab, or head covering, rejecting the strictures of her old life. The film is not an argument against wearing the hijab, says director Cyrus Neshvad, but against social norms that give men the right to determine what a woman wears, and in some cases, the man that she will marry.
It means the woman has no right, and the men are powerful.
The girl is lost in the airport, frightened and alone, pursued by the man searching for his intended bride.
Which is like a prison for her, interior prison. So I decided to take big lenses, anamorphic lenses, to show the space very big, because the bigger we show the space, the more we feel her loneliness.
And her desperation. The young actress, Noelle Avod, is French, from a family of North African background, but she says young women everywhere ask the same question.
C'est à quel moment est-ce que je peux accéder à ma liberté, et surtout quand on vient...
When can I access my freedom, especially when you come from such an authoritarian regime that oppresses women? This is when I make my own choices. That's the point of the film. That's the choice she's going to make in the end.
C'est le choix qu'elle va faire à la fin.
Now the filmmaker, the actress, and the rest of Hollywood are waiting for the Oscars, when The Red Suitcase will compete on March 12th with 4 other nominees for Best Live Action Short Film. Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News, Los Angeles.
And with that, we come to the end of our show today. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voaafrica.com. We are also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Do not forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Until next time, goodbye, everyone.